In this video, you're going to learn my exact Facebook ad strategy from cold testing all the way to lookalikes, CBOs, retargeting, and how you can go from spending only $35 a day all the way upwards of $1,000 plus per day. We are really going to be focusing about incrementally growing your advertising spend because we all know most people start dropshipping on a limited budget, and that's perfectly fine. So you need to know that you can't just go from $30 a day to $1,000. It doesn't work like that, but we're going to focus on how to incrementally grow your ad spend from 30 to 50 to 100 and all the way up to $5,000 plus in this video. So I am so excited to be revealing my exact Facebook ad strategy. So let's do it. Just a quick disclaimer, I know what you're thinking, Ethan, you're looking a little bit like a model today. What is going on with the eyebrows? I'm so used to that bushy brow dude, and I gotta say, he's now dead. No more caterpillar eyebrows for this guy. Recently just got them threaded, and oh my goodness, was that the most painful experience in the world. When girls say beauty is pain, they are right. It felt like a cheese grater was being grinded on my eyebrows. It hurt so fucking much. So if you're a guy and you have bushy eyebrows and you're thinking about threading them, it's not worth it. It hurts so much. But I will admit, your boy's looking pretty good right now. So this whole entire strategy, I am dubbing the Super Saiyan method, because this is going to teach you exactly how to go from just a little weak beginner punk who Ethan would throw in lockers back in high school to a legit Super Saiyan bodybuilder who is dominating the Facebook ad market. But I just want to do a quick disclaimer. This is something that I've learned from refining my own Facebook ads throughout the years, and this is sort of taking bits and pieces from my own mentors that I've learned from and from my own experience. So I want to do a special shout out for Noah Brewer, who's taught me so much about Facebook ads, and I don't want to take the credit for somebody else's work. I mean, this is stuff that I've learned from going through courses, from programs, and especially from my own experience testing CBOs, lookalikes, and finding out what honestly works the best for me. Because at the end of the day, there really is no right or wrong answer when it comes to Facebook ads, because everyone has done it a different way, and I know so many people teach it in different ways. So just because I say, oh, do this, doesn't mean that you can discredit other people who teach it in a different manner, because that's just what works for them. It's so different. Facebook ads, you can conquer it in so many different ways. It's like skinning a mule. You can do it in 1,000 different ways. But without further ado, without any more fluff, let's get straight into the cold testing portion of the Super Saiyan method. Alright everybody, so for this example, we are going to be selling the Flexi Burn Ultimate Self-Care Massager. So basically, just for your reference, this is a self-care massager that helps you recover from workouts faster so that you can be in the game, stay on the court, or just get in the gym longer. So this is going to be our point of reference, and we're going to go to good old-fashioned PowerPoint, because who doesn't like a boring, old, outdated PowerPoint? That'll keep your attention.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I'll try to make it entertaining, because, guys, you got to realize here, dropshipping, e-commerce, it can be a little bit boring, the strategy part of it, but you obviously have to know the right strategies, the right execution in order to be successful. So if you're really serious about doing this, you're going to watch this video, you're going to really learn this, and also I recommend getting a journal or something to write down notes. Don't just endlessly watch videos and click and be like, yeah, well, that was a good point. So for the Flexi Burn, exactly what I would do when we're going to Ads Manager is I would set up a campaign. Now, this is not a CBO. This is just a regular campaign where you have 7 ad sets and you show them 3 to 5 ads. So let's say, for instance, our first ad set is going to be CrossFitters, people that love CrossFit. Next, we can do track. We can do cross country, boxing, soccer, baseball, football. So we can do so many different combinations of athletes. Now, you don't necessarily have to do it like that. I've seen people target brands that are specific to athletes. So you could do Nike, Adidas. You could do athletes like LeBron James. You can do so many different things with your targeting and your interest finding. So for the actual targeting outside of the interest, like with age, with gender, all that stuff, I would keep it pretty neutral. So I would just do all gender for the age 18 to 65 plus, because the less restrictions, the better with Facebook, because then they can spread your money evenly across the different age groups and see where it performs the best. So obviously there's not going to be a lot of 65 plus seniors using this stuff because they don't need to be in the gym 24/7 getting those beef gains. But the thing is, when you give it less restrictions, less guidelines, Facebook can really optimize so much faster, because the bigger the sample, the easier it is for it to find the best pockets, the best sections where it works the best, your product and who's buying. So you got to keep in mind, Facebook's trying to make you money. They're not just here to, throw it around and spend it lavishly like a Greek person in their economy. But let's get into the ad sets. So after we have our interests inside, we got the age down, we got the gender. With location, I would recommend US and Canada right now. I wouldn't recommend any other place because, oh man, shipping is just still a little bit chaotic at the moment. So I would recommend just that. Now, if you're watching this in the future and, cargo planes are good, tariffs are a little bit lower, the shipping price sort of conundrum on AliExpress is actually sort of stabilized, then I definitely recommend doing worldwide targeting. Now, where my method differentiates from everybody else's is that I'm really a big believer in split testing. And everyone says, well, yeah, split testing is important. That's why you have all these audiences. But I believe you should also split test at the ad level because you can have multiple angles that you're doing. You can have multiple sort of looks, clips, headlines, ad copy. You can test so many great things. So you really need to be testing for each audience what would work the best. So let's say, for instance, we're selling this product, but all of our clips are in the gym. Just straight up in the gym, and I'm sure for weightlifters and CrossFitters, they would love that ad because it's personalized to them. It shows gym clips. But if I'm somebody who plays football or does baseball, I should probably see some clips of baseball players using it, of football players using it. It's not really personalized to me, so I'm less receptive to ads like that. So I want to have an ad that also has clips for baseball players. So let's say our ad set, number 6, we do baseball clips. And then for ad set number 5 over here, which is track, we do track clips. So people that are into track using our product. And this is how you can really personalize and differentiate yourself from all the other dropshippers. Because the real sort of reality of this game, guys, is that if you're not on your top of 1% when it comes to advertising and really taking that extra step that no one else is willing to take, you are not going to be successful. So I found out the more personalized your ads are to your audience, the more likely they are to buy. And it's very, very easy to understand. If I'm someone who likes bowling and I'm seeing an ad for track or boxing, I'm just going to tune it off. I'm just going to keep on swiping on my feed and look at all these great bowling highlights. But if I see an ad that shows bowling, famous pro bowlers using this FlexiBurn product, I'm going to most likely click on that link, see what's going on, and maybe buy. It's very obvious to understand why this works so much better than everybody else, because if you just make 3 to 5 ads and they're generic and you do it to a bunch of audiences, obviously the ad costs are going to be higher and you're going to see lower results. So what we can do, and this takes a little bit of time, maybe an extra 2-3 minutes, is with your ad copy. You could say, hey baseball players, hey track and field, do you want to stay on the stay on the track longer? Do you want to stay on the diamond longer? Hey football players, do you want to stay on the field longer? Do you want to get bigger? Do you want to outwork your competition? This is the product that you need. Now keep in mind, this is the strategy for a product that's under $50, which is the FlexiBurn, because it's about, I think, $24.99. It was somewhere around there. So if you have a product that's above $50, then you're just going to do one major tweak, and that is raising the ad set budget to $10. Because what I like to do is test the original campaign for 2 to 3 days. So if I know my product costs $70 or $100 or $200, but I'm only spending $5 a day per ad set, so after 2 days that's $10, that's not really an accurate assessment of whether or not the ad set works. That's not enough money to spend because I'm trying to get a $200 sale, but I'm expecting Facebook to find me a sale at $10. It's just not realistic, so you have to spend more money. So getting it to $20, $30, $40 per ad set is going to drastically increase your results because it's a more accurate assessment of whether or not that audience actually has some potential. Now obviously, if the price of your product is really high ticket, like $200, $1,000, $800, I don't know what you're selling, like freaking used cars or furniture or whatever it is, then you do want to raise the budget from $10, because obviously if you're selling an $800 product, you're not going to get a sale just spending $10 on your ad sets. It's very, very, very unlikely. So what you're going to do is raise the ad set budget to 50 to 100. So you want to get to a certain point where if after 2-3 days you don't have a sale, then you probably should kill it. So obviously it's very, I would say, subjective. Every single situation is different. It's a case-by-case basis. But let's get into Super Saiyan Method Part 2, the relaunch campaign. This is the bread and butter of this. Whoa, Ethan from the future here. So if you guys know you have a more restricted budget and you just don't have as much money to play with, I do have a beginner's low budget Facebook ad strategy video, which is perfect for you. You guys need to check it out, and it will expand upon the original campaign and relaunch campaign. So the first two parts of the Super Saiyan Method. So if you haven't already watched that video, I highly recommend checking it out before watching this one, because it'll put all the puzzle pieces together and it will make so much more sense. So make sure to check that out. I'll link it in the poll above this video, and definitely come back to this video when you are done with that one. So let's say with your original campaign, you've ran it for 2-3 days and you're profitable. You're making sales, you're making some money, or you're break even. That's also fine, and that's a great sign, because keep in mind, this is like cold calling. You're just throwing your money at people and you're seeing, okay, are they gonna actually buy? But you don't know if they're interested yet. You're just guessing and anticipating based off market research. So once you have some data that, oh, this actually does sort of work, I'm getting some audiences that are working, then what you wanna do is create a new campaign called a relaunch campaign. And with this campaign, you are gonna be testing new audiences, but it's the same principle. $5 budgets, but new interests. So we targeted track, boxing, baseball, all that stuff. Find some more sports, find some more brands out there. So maybe this could be Under Armour, Nike, Adidas, because we didn't do that in the first one. So we did sports mainly. Now we can do celebrities and brands. So we're testing a bunch of new audiences, and you can really see the potential of this method, because you don't need to do just one relaunch campaign, you can do several. So I can have relaunch campaign number 1, which is targeting interest 8 through 14. I can have relaunch campaign number 2, which is testing interest 15 to 22, and you can keep on going, and this is how the big boys do it. They scale and maximize the potential of their cold audiences. We don't go straight to lookalikes, we don't go straight to CBOs, we maximize all the audiences we can reach. Because if we go straight to lookalikes and all of that, we don't know all of the other audiences that are potentially profitable. We're just throwing those out the window. We're just saying, oh, you know what? We had 2 audiences that worked. Well, we're fine with that. If it's just 2 audiences, okay, that's cool. But the reality is, in order to scale a product to $100,000 a month, you need to have multiple audiences, more than 2, more than 5, or at least 10 that are doing insanely well for you. And the only way to have 10 plus audiences killing it for you is testing more than 10 plus interests. You should be testing 40, 50, 60 different interests, and that's a lot of relaunch campaigns. I understand that. But remember, with a relaunch campaign, do not do more than 7 audiences. You don't want to spread it too thin with the pixel. So I recommend with every single campaign, just try to keep it to around 7 audiences, and after that, just do another relaunch campaign, and then you are good to go. Now, some final rules with the relaunch campaigns and the original campaign is, after every single day, evaluate your ad sets and kill the worst performing ad set. Now, if the worst performing ad set is profitable, then oh my God, you're a G, you are golden, you are about to get that Midas touch, you'll buy your Lamborghini, you'll get your mansion, you'll get Kate Upton, or at least somebody from the Playboy house, somewhere along those lines, and then I'll shake your hand and say, wow, this guy made it. Or this girl made it. Girls can be entrepreneurs too, Ethan, you freaking sexist. But you're gonna kill the worst performing ad set if it's not profitable for you, and then you're gonna add a new ad set per day, testing a new interest. So this is keep on testing new interests and new audiences to find out what works the best. So you can see how we can really scale from $35 a day, which was our initial investment with the original campaign. And if it works after 2-3 days, we're profitable or break even. We start the relaunch campaigns, and these are also spending 35, maybe 50, maybe 70, whatever the price of your product is. And if you do multiple relaunch campaigns, let's say we do 4. So 35 times 4, that's $140. Then we had our original campaign spending $35, so that's $175 right there. So you're already spending a Benjamin at 3/4, so 1 3/4 of a Benjamin on your ads. That's not too shabby. Now this is where it gets really freaking nuts. The CBO, I mean CBO, you've heard of this. It just sounds intimidating. It's short, to the point, it's fierce. Now, CBOs aren't very intimidating. They're very easy to do. And some people even recommend doing that in the cold testing process, but from my own experience, it just doesn't really work out. So I recommend doing CBOs once you have 5 audiences, 5 ad sets with 5 plus purchases. And then once you have those 5 audiences, let's say it's track, it's baseball, it's boxing, it's bowling, it's CrossFit. We put all of these audiences right into the CBO. We just recreate them. You don't have to do anything. You just say, oh, Well, in my original campaign, it was track 1865 plus, blah, 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 blah. All you're doing is just creating a new campaign, making sure it's a CBO, daily budget $50. Then you just recreate the exact ad set. So we just do track 1865 plus, same location, same everything, and then you're good to go, and you're gonna duplicate that ad set and recreate the other 4 that have had 5+ purchases. So this is exactly what you're going to do. Now, if you have a higher budget, then don't start at 50. 50 is just like, I would say the minimum required, that's limping in, but if you have more money, then the fastest way to scale is starting at a higher budget, at $100, $200, $500, that's perfectly fine. So for me personally, I start around $500 with CBOs when we get to this level, because it just gives you data a lot faster. But when you're first starting out, it's perfectly fine to just do $50, get your 5 best ad sets in there, and then what makes this different from the original relaunch campaigns is you're gonna have some data about which ads are performing the best. So you have all this data from your original campaign and your relaunch campaign. So what you're gonna do is say, hey, so in the original campaign, track got 8+ purchases and ad 3 performed the best. Ad 3 did really well out of all the 5 that was showed to them. So what you're gonna do, just take ad 3, you're gonna recreate it for that track audience in the CBO. Now let's say for boxing was also in this, and that was in one of the relaunch campaigns, and ad 2 was the best for that audience. So we're just gonna recreate ad 2 for the CBO boxing audience, and you're just going to keep on evaluating your ads and find out what was the best creative that the audience responded the best to, and you're just going to show them that. There's no need to test 3 to 5 new ads here. You already have the data, so just show them the best converting ad. So with CBOs, you want them to be profitable after day 1. So if your CBO is profitable, what you can do is duplicate the campaign and double the budget. So if we're starting at 50, duplicate it at 100. If it works at 100, duplicate it, do 200, and then 400, and then 800. So you can really see how you can scale so fast with CBOs. And that's the real importance of using CBOs. This is for purely scaling this thing to the freaking moon. Now this is a very important step. When you are scaling to the freaking moon with CBOs, you have to have your retargeting set up, because you have valuable data with all the money that you're spending every single day with your ads. So what you need to be doing is doing a CBO. Again, you can start at 50, but the higher the budget, the better, because then you can reach the full audience that you have all the data of. So what you're gonna do is do retargeting at video view 75%, then video view 95%. And if you're not running a video ad, you obviously don't have this, so just stick to the 5 on the right. So you do page view, business page engagement, top 25% by site visitors, time spent, add to cart, initiate checkout. And with this, you are creating all new ads. And I know what you're saying, Ethan, how many freaking ads do I have to make? Well, guess what? You signed up for this. You want to have a profitable business, you don't half-ass it. You have to make new ad creatives every single time, unless we're talking about the CBOs. So with retargeting, what you're going to do is create 2 to 4 retargeting ads targeting all of these audiences, and I recommend just doing a 7-day window. Obviously, you could do 14-day, 10-day, but for me personally, I like to do 7 days. So you have to keep in mind, these people have seen your ad before, but they didn't buy. So why would you show them the same ad that they've already seen once, but they didn't decide to pull the trigger? Obviously, there was some objection they had along the process where they didn't make the decision to buy. And there's 2 main factors why. It's either your price or they don't trust your website. Those are the 2 main factors usually every single time. There's obviously, I could rattle a whole list, but the 2 main ones are price and trust. So how do we actually convince people that we're trustworthy, and how do we lower that price for people? So obviously we need to tackle the price objection first. So let's say with the FlexiBurn, people say, oh, that's too much. That is way out of my price range. So what we can do in a retargeting ad is show a different video or a different image of our ad, because we obviously don't want to show them the same thing, because that's the reason why they didn't purchase. And there's also ad fatigue. People don't want to see the same image and video of your ad over and over and over again on their feed. They're just going to block you. They're going to report the ad. They're not going to be happy. So we show them a new video, and then in the ad copy itself, we talk about a different benefit of the product that we haven't already mentioned in our original ads. So if you know they already know that, oh, they can recover faster, maybe we need to tackle a different benefit of your product. Maybe you talk about a statistic. Hey, did you know on average, users of our product say that they recover 50% faster than with traditional methods? So that could be something we could say. We could say, hey, you can recover 2 days faster with our product than using ice baths or some sort of pain point or thing that they don't want to do. And this is a great way to really convince people, hey, maybe I should give them a shot. But as a bonus, as the little icing on top, you say, hey, if you order today, you can save 10% off using discount code SAVE10, whatever your business is. I would recommend being a little more creative with the discount code instead of just SAVE10. So if you're a niche store, maybe for instance, I'm a fitness niche store, so fitness 10 or recover 10, something that actually makes sense for the product that I'm selling. Now, the other retargeting ad angle I definitely recommend trying out is the testimonial ad. And I know you guys have seen this. It's where their customers wearing the product, they're using the product and like, wow, this is killer. This is a nice shirt. What is this made out of? Polyurethane? It's made out of cotton? I'm allergic to cotton, so whatever. But basically, in the testimonial ad, you show a picture or a video of your customer using the product, and then for the ad copy, you're just posting the exact review they left on your website. And that is a great way to increase the trust of your brand. If people can legitimately see a third-party social proof source that is unbiased, saying how much they love your product, that can convince them, hey, maybe I had the wrong interpretation about them. Maybe I should give them a shot because this person really seems to like their product. Why can't I be the same thing? Why can't I be just like them? I'm sure it works out. If it works for him, why can't it work for me? And that's exactly what they're saying in their head. Now, there's other retargeting ad angles out there. You just have to be smart with how you actually approach them. But those are the two main ones you need to be running. So you're going to show this to the page view audience, the video view, business page, all of these different audiences at $50 a day when you're first starting out. Again, if you have a higher budget, do 100, do 150. And again, with retargeting, this should be profitable in the first day. So if it is, duplicate it at a higher budget, 100, 150. Now, you obviously need to be spending a decent amount on the front end with your original and relaunch campaigns, because if I'm spending $500 on retargeting and I'm only spending 20 bucks showing my ad to new people, I'm gonna exhaust the audiences, and the frequency as to which I'm gonna show my ad to people is gonna be insanely high, and they're gonna be pissed off. You don't want your frequency to be too high, and that's basically the amount of times per day somebody in your retargeting audience sees your ad. So if it's above 3, I would recommend toning it down a little bit.
Now we get into the final stage, the final form of the Super Saiyan method, in which you are going to go above level 9,000.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
Now, a lot of you lookalike junkies are finally getting your shot right in here. You're getting your satisfaction into your veins because you're like, oh my God, he's finally talking about lookalikes. I was getting a little bit worried there. So with lookalikes, what you're going to be doing is, now that you have all of this data, first off, I recommend having at least 1,000 people in these audiences before doing lookalikes. So 1,000 video views is the easiest to get. Then you do page engagement, page view, add to cart, initiate checkout, and the most powerful lookalike is always going to be the purchase. But I do recommend getting 1,000 purchases first before doing that, and I know for most people that's unrealistic. So you do the page view, the page engagement, the video view, add to cart, and all of that. So this might look a little bit strange, but what you're going to do is, let's say we're doing a lookalike campaign for just the video view 75% audience. So what we're going to do is a CBO at $50, and we're going to do a 1% lookalike of the video view 75% audience, then a 3%, then a 5%, then a 7%, and then a 10% of that initial audience. And you don't want to do more than 5. From my own testing, from my own experience, and from what other people have taught me, you don't want to do more than 5 audiences in this CBO. Because if you're testing 10 lookalike audiences in one CBO, it's going to be too spread out, there's too many variables, and you're not going to give the proper amount of attention to each audience. So I limit it to 5, and you're not going to see a huge difference between, oh, Ethan, you excluded the 6% audience. What if that becomes the winner? Guys, 7% will do. It's not a huge difference. And for this, you're just going to show the best ad that you've had out of all of this data. So at this point, you're spending thousands of dollars and you have a decent idea of what's my best video, what's my best ad copy, what's my best thumbnail, what's the best angle that I've been taking that's really been converting, and you're just going to show that best ad to people. So the ad creation process is done, and you're just going to do that with your lookalike. And then next, you do it for page engagement. So you have a whole page engagement lookalike campaign for 1%, 3%, 5%, 7%, and 10%. And at this point, you should have the budget to not start at $50. You should be able to do it at $200, $500, $1,000. But because I know the struggle for that cheddar, I know you guys got to preserve every dollar. We'll just hypothetically say we're starting at 50, but at this point, you do want to be at $200, $500 because this is how you're really going to scale. You guys know the power of lookalike audiences. The power of taking the data that you already have and finding more people that are exactly like those people. I mean, Facebook is just AI galore. It's such a smart algorithm. The fact that it can find the similarities and the patterns between people you've already found and then find more people like that, it's insane. There's nothing else like it, and this is why Facebook ads will always reign supreme over Google ads, Pinterest ads, Snapchat ads, because they're just not as sophisticated as this platform. So if you're a little bit confused, again, page engagement. So let's say this is the page engagement lookalike campaign. So we have a CBO set up, and we're just doing 1% page engagement, 3%, 5%, 7%, 10%. So the next campaign, we're doing a page view lookalike campaign. $50, 1%, 3%, 5%, 7%, 10%. For add to cart, for initiate checkout. So these are all different campaigns. So you'll have a video view lookalike campaign, a page engagement lookalike campaign, a page view, add to cart, initiate checkout. You get the deal, but you can see if you really have a successful product, if you add up all these audiences, your original, the multiple relaunch campaigns, the multiple CBOs, and the multiple retargeting, all the lookalike campaigns, there's so many campaigns you're gonna do. And that's why when you ever see these sophisticated sort of dropshippers showing their ad accounts from like their huge winning products, there's always like 50 campaigns or 100 campaigns. And this is the exact campaigns they're doing. These are the exact methods they're following. This is stuff I've learned from 7- and 8-figure dropshippers. So I really hope with this information, you can apply it wisely and that you can really have a lot of value to your business and the future of your dropshipping career. Well, everybody, this is goodbye. I really hope you enjoyed today's Facebook ad video. If you did, feel free to slap that like button down below just so I know that you guys are enjoying this Facebook ad tutorial, because I am going to be completely frank with you. No other top dropshipper is ever going to reveal their exact Facebook ad strategy for free on YouTube. So if you guys took any value, if you want any more content out there, I am here to deliver for you and get you closer to your dropshipping success. I seriously hope you enjoyed this video, because I know Facebook ads is difficult. It's a daunting task for a lot of us who have never done it before. So if you ever have this sort of notion or fear or uncertainty in your head when you are doing Facebook ads, just know that is completely normal. Whenever a beginner tries to do something new, we always have that fear. I've had that fear when I first started out. Luckily, I've had the amazing opportunity to work with so many great Facebook ad experts and have 3+ years of experience doing this on my own. So I do want to try to provide as much to you. So if you want anything more Facebook ad related, product research related, dropshipping related, let your boy know, because we're here to grow as a community, grow as a culture, grow that money, those stacks, because at the end of the day, we need to have a Las Vegas party. All of us that follow this channel, we need to go to Las Vegas, gamble it up, party it up, like Hangover. But you guys already know the motto. You already know what I'm about to say. So before I say it, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe down below. But as always, it has been a pleasure to entertain and educate you at the same time. Stay humble and do numbers.